I'm so good, Alex. I love you. I had so much fun talking to you last time. And sincerely, you can tell I've been in that position too. I had my own talk show, and you can tell when somebody is sincerely interested in what they do, and you're just fun. So,
why are you wasting your time, though? You're a big star.
Talking to my ginger friend? Isn't that what we went off on last time?
I just sat through your show on Tuesday night, and there you were back in Las Vegas at the Flamingo, you and Donnie doing this masterclass in entertainment. It was so glorious to see you again, and a sold-out showroom. You look like you want to be there. You've still got tremendous energy, and the show is fabulous. Congratulations.
Thank you. Formaldehyde works. No. You know, it's amazing to me that it's been 10 years, and in a lot of ways it feels like 20, and in a lot of ways it feels like 1. You know, it's crazy. It's the longest I've done something, you know, in a show. But the reason is because we change it up.
Right.
So it's not ever stagnant or stale, and the people enjoy it, and as long as they're having fun, I'm having fun.
You do know the warmth that you get from your audience isn't common in this town. I'll give you an example of somebody who had got it. Barry Manilow had this beautiful connection with his audience. But then I sit through other legends and people sit there and stare. Your audience are in such awe from the second that curtain goes up to that beautiful ending that you create. The warmth is magical, and that is a lifetime of us knowing each other, isn't it?
Well, I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think, and I've told you this, my favorite part is meet and greet.
Right.
I really love it. I love the show, don't get me wrong. But, those people come to see you. And you get to see their stories, and you hear why they came. It's like, I grew up with you. You helped me through a difficult time in my life. You know, I came because you brought back a piece of happiness from my childhood. I mean, all these different, you're on my bucket list with, you know, I go, thank you. And me and swimming with the sharks, how fun, you know, and and so it's just so cute. It really is so sweet, and I really love them, and I appreciate them. You know, I'm there. I even say on stage, you know, I'm doing this here because of you. Right. One night we were talking, and I said how I'd worked with, you know, Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and I said, you all know who Anne Margaret is? And they were like, oh yeah. And I said, well, I remember, you know, being a young girl, and it was here. I don't know how, I was very young, went to the show with my mother, and I watched Anne Margaret come down from the top of the stage on a motorcycle. And I leaned over to my mother and I went, shut up, look at her, she's still working and she's 40. And then I said to the audience, here I am.
I've got a new idea for the opening. You and Donnie on a big chopper riding from the back of the audience, down the stairs, up through the... No?
We've done that.
Have you?
Oh, yeah, in a stadium. You have to have a stadium, not this room.
And this room is perfect. I mean, it is like the vintage days of Las Vegas. And when I sit there, you take me back to all the people who played here, whether it be Elvis or Sinatra. It's the nearest feeling I'm ever going to get, really.
Oh, you're so cute. You know, it's really interesting you would say that. The other day I was walking in and I went, I do things a different way. I remember working with the greats. And I watched them and I studied them and I thought, well, that's this and we do this way, but I really like how they do that. You know how you analyze how they work. The other day I was doing something and I watched some of these younger performers and I went, I wonder if I'm that now, where they look and say, this is different. But I don't know, I still like the work ethic that I learned from those people. You know, I don't know. I think it's an era gone by. I think we might be there ourselves, but there was something about using it as your job, not as an entitlement like we were talking about, but a job, and to really go out there every night and bring it and do it, and as long as you still enjoy it, you should do it. But the minute you don't, the minute it becomes something else, you should leave, I think.
And in this town, that's
Donnie
easy.
will work till he's dead.
Right.
I'm probably going to retire at some point.
How will that work? Will there be a day when you'll have to sit down with him and say, this isn't fun for me anymore? And have you had that conversation?
I say that to him every night.
In front of the audience?
Oh, sure.
The teasing you have on stage, again, takes us back. And I think the two most magical moments in the show, we see you as children. And it's still unbelievable to comprehend the decades that you've been at the top of your game.
You know, the other day, I have a solo show that I do. And I do this thing where, you know, I've had #1 hit records like CMA Duo of the Year without Donnie, but I've worked with other people like Paul Davis and you know, different people like that, and Dan Seals, and but it's so funny because they start spiraling all these names of people I've sung with, and it kind of took my breath away because it was over 500 and something, you know, from Earth, Wind and Fire to Barry Manilow to, I mean, name a name. Andy Gibb, Olivia Newton-John. I mean, it's just like insane. And I sat there and I went, I have really had an interesting life. And I don't know why I'm still a female that's still around, because I know there's people more talented than me. Yes, you know, there's wonderfully talented people out there. Maybe I just appreciated it a little bit more, or maybe I just never stopped wanting to learn, or I don't know what it is, or maybe I just really sincerely love people, and I don't mind putting my life out there. As I'm not trying to one up anybody. I'm just like you. I'm just like everybody else. When you go into a showroom, they're there because they want to see you. Maybe not the husbands initially.
Right.
But it's so fun to win them over.
Right.
That's fun for me.
And that's the challenge.
And I remember faces. I'm not good at names. I'm not. But I love to see these husbands come after, because you know they're awesome people because they brought their wives and they had to deal with the Donnie thing their whole life or whatever, you know what I mean? And so I see them, and it's just really cute to see people win over, and younger generations. You know, I see, especially from England and places like that, where daughters will bring their moms over, you know, as their special birthday treat or something like that. And they're like, oh my gosh. And I'll say, you liked me better than Donnie, didn't you? I'm so horrible. And so, you know, I have so much fun with these people. And I think that's why I love what I do, is I just enjoy them all. You know, people crack me up.
You're still at the top of your game professionally on stage. You also have businesses off stage, which are probably even more successful.
I'm CEO of 4 companies. I have other things that I do besides this, and I think you always want to have something that keeps you busy. Otherwise, this gets so crazy myopic, and people get, you know, it becomes their whole world. And you know, I have a product body gym that I do here. That is, my husband bought the company. It is the most fabulous piece of equipment on the planet. I hate gyms and I hate exercise, and this thing rocks. I mean, no more flying squirrel arms. It is fantastic. No, and I mean that. I don't put my name on anything I don't love, you know, and so I have great passion for the other things that I do, but things are done. It's like there'll be a time maybe when, you know, Vegas is done, and maybe I'll go to Broadway again, or I'm working on a new album right now because I sing Nessun Dorma, and I've done, you know, those things, and I have some show tunes, and I have some operatic pieces, one that's just so fun. I'm working on it right now. But you know, I'm working on another book. I love to write and those types of things, and I think this one's going to be really powerful in helping people. That you know, the last one I wrote was The Key is Love, and my mother was all about that. And I know it sounds trite, but it's not. It's very powerful. Anyway, it's going to be a really fun project with this friend of mine. And then I have a new skincare line that I just came out with. And I know it sounds like, oh, I'm pushing, but honestly, I have been asked to do so many skincare lines. I mean, I can't even tell you over the last 5 decades. Right. And I'm always like, well, you know, I use this one, but it's expensive, and I don't want to put that out there for other people. And right. The science, I can legitimately tell you, legally tell you, there is nothing in retail to beat us. Nothing.
Wow. And
we even beat dermatologist level products. And you will see a difference in your face.
Could you even make me look attractive?
Honey, I put you to the challenge. Give me 3 months.
You could deny that I'm ugly.
You're not. You're so awful on yourself. You stop it.
This is probably the biggest thing in culture today that people are obsessed with how you stay slim, how you look more beautiful, how you take the best photo. And you have mastered this. So let's start with weight firstly. How do people stay slim? Because I walked around this Las Vegas. This is a problem.
I think you're right. And I think with more and more people working, both parents working, they're so tired when they get home and they have to throw something in. But I have been an advocate of health. I'm not an advocate of skinny, because thin girls, really thin women, are mean. They're hungry.
Right.
And so
you have to throw lettuce at them all day long, don't you?
So, I was 50 pounds overweight, and my mom, when she passed away, I'm her only daughter. What would you say to your only daughter? She goes, don't do what I did. Women in my family die very early of heart disease. And heart disease, you can know as a woman, it's the number one killer. Just go to the American Red Cross, you'll see. But and the heart, not American Red Cross. Just go to
That's right. You can edit it.
What is it?
The Heart Foundation.
Yes, the Heart Association. Okay. Yeah, just go to the American Heart Association. They'll tell you it's the number one killer of women, and you can tell when you have it. It's that bulge right here, and so I did everything. Honest, I've done every diet. Talk to me. I'll tell you, and I'll tell you why they don't work. It's because either you have to cook it, or you have to go somewhere and get weighed, or you have to be humiliated, or whatever. And so I'm a very big advocate for Nutrisystem. I know they don't have it in the UK, but I think they should. And so what they did is they removed all the temptation from me. They gave me versions of the foods that I became addicted to, like pizzas and hamburgers and chocolate and ice cream. But they gave me a version that would make me lose weight. And then once you get your health down, you go, I will never go back to that. And so it's a discipline. It's like being on stage is a discipline, being an interview is a discipline. Your life, you have to look at discipline as a good thing, not as a bad thing.
And I, like you, have battled all my life with weight, and I wonder whether it's more a mental thing than a physical thing. I wonder why people have such contempt with the one thing that matters the most. Because if we don't have health, we have nothing, do we?
Well, it's true. And it's like, I believe that a lot of times food addiction is tied to emotional issues and things like that. And, I think it's so important. I mean, for me, I went through postpartum depression, and I've gone through 20 years of understanding. My mother says you spend the last half of your life fixing what the first half did to you. Right. And I believe that. So I think when you learn to love that little child in you that maybe wasn't heard or was hurt or abandoned or whatever that was, or told to shut up because you couldn't deal with it right now or whatever, when you start to say, I'm going to love myself, not selfishly, I hate selfish, but I'm going to take care of you, and everything I put into my mouth, I want it to feed me with energy and take care of me. I mean, I've never drank, I've never smoked. I've taken care of myself that way, which I think reflects. Yep. But I eat very healthy. I exercise, even though I don't want to, but I did. My body gym rocks, and it does rock. But I just think you get to a certain age, don't you think, where you go, this is me, like it or lump it. So do I like it? Do I like who I am? And if you don't, you get a few more decades to fix it before we say adios, amigo.
Other than weight, I think bitterness is one of the things that people are struggling with, and mental health and how you overcome negativity. And you are an inspiration when it comes to this. You've been through some very tough times, and you sit here today with a smile on your face. If anybody's watching this now, because I know many did who watched the last video, what is the first step to overcoming a disaster in your life, an emotional problem, a tragedy, something that's awful, to get back on the road to happiness?
I look at things like shifts. Do you see it? It's like at the eye doctor. You know how they put do you see better this way, or do you see better this way? And I think this whole life is that. You can be bitter or you can be better. And every situation gives you that opportunity. Right. Successes, failures, sorrow, devastation, and God is so good because He doesn't give it to you too much all at once. He kind of gives it to you a little bits through your life as you can handle it. And it's like the other day something happened. It was just awful. And I just sat there and went, my gosh, I'm Job. I was like, I'm laughing. That's good, I guess. Right. And so, but, you know, I wrote a book about, you know, and I've been quoted as saying, if you're going to laugh about something in the future, you might as well laugh about it now. Right. Tragedy plus time equals humor. And so, and not necessarily humor, but keep a positive attitude. Really, truly, you have a choice. You always have a choice in how you want to deal with something. And hate and anger, and believe me, I understand those. People who have taken advantage or hurt people I loved, no. Forgiveness doesn't mean you just hang out with them again. Right. You can definitely have boundaries in your life. I'm not stupid.
And enough can be enough sometimes, can't it?
And sometimes you need to forgive yourself for being so stupid. Right. Because if you don't forgive here, and if you don't see clearly here, I believe that dis-ease manifests into disease. Right. And your body will manifest it some way or the other. And so I just think this life is such a beautiful, that's why, who cares if I'm an entertainer? Who cares if you're an interviewer? Who cares if somebody is a stagehand? Who cares if you work at a bank? You know what I'm saying? We are here for this human experience, right. Not who's going to climb higher than the other person, because frankly, some of the most fascinating people to me are the people that are working backstage. Right. They really are. The people that come to the show and they tell me what they do. My beliefs have really helped me. I'm not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which we are called Mormons. I am not a member because my parents were. I am so not that kind of person. I'm so not.
Are you implying you can't be told what to do?
Oh, hello. I think I have red hair under here. Did I tell you my grandmother was a redhead?
You did, yes.
I think I did, yeah. And my dad always said, you channel your grandmother. I said, thank you. But I'm a nice redhead. I am. You don't get anything, you know, you get it through being kind and sweet. But smart. You know, you got to be educated and know what you're doing. But no, I just think that kindness wins, and being aware, always being aware.
Give me some advice that you've been given from the legends. When we see that section of the show where you've literally met and worked with everyone during a period...
That's just a small little sample. When you work with the greats and they'd walk on your set and you're like, who am I to work with this person, right. You know? John Wayne. Do you know who John Wayne is?
Yes,
okay.
Of course.
And
I've got his walk.
John Wayne and Del Evans did our show, and I was like kind of excited about it. And I don't know if it's advice, but I know my father loved him, you know, right? And he was tall, and he was just kind to everybody. And I watched that, and I took that and kept it. From the stage guy to the guy who was the caterer, to the other celebrities, they were all the same. I loved that in him. That was wonderful. I can tell you, there were things I saw too where I went, I will never do that. Right. Certain ladies that I worked with that were never on time, and I try very hard to be on time, because I get it when you want to make sure you look really, because being a female in this business is horrible, because everybody judges you by how you look and what you're wearing, and it's 24/7, and you have to get to a place where you're just okay. It's okay who I am. Right. You know, if you want to judge me, that's your problem. I'm not going to let that ruin my life.
And if you're defined by your makeup, we're really missing the point, aren't we?
Exactly. But I mean, I worked with women who were defined by how they looked, and I thought, what a miserable existence to just be. And they were more talented than that, but people never saw them for more than that. And maybe that's why I've done other things like Children's Miracle Network. Right. And I've done, I designed dolls for 25 years, and I've learned to sing many styles of music. So I was never defined as, Marie, a country singer. Right. No, I'm an entertainer. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a philanthropist, and maybe that's why, because I saw these women who I could tell they were miserable because they were just defined by being pretty. Mm-hmm. And And there's nothing wrong with being pretty. I think everybody's pretty. I really do. But, it's like, hey, if I came here to this interview looking like I did, if I didn't color my hair, you'd go, my goodness, she let herself go. So you can't let yourself go.
I get it, but I wouldn't care.
I think that this business, it is, look, you don't have to look great, but I think they expect when you show up, I think they love my 10 million stones on my costumes.
So is it changing or pretending to change? Because this Me Too stuff, and just last week we saw at Cannes that big thing on the stairs where all the women actresses were there together. But I'm not sure in reality if anything's changing, because I still see the Kardashians making headline after headline for seemingly doing nothing.
Well, for doing nothing, they're business moguls.
Right.
They're creating a brand that's quite, you can't deny what they've done. You just do what you do. You just have to, for me, I enjoy putting on the show. I love it when people come up and say, I love your clothes. My daughter, who creates a lot of my clothes, and my son-in-law, her husband, they're wonderful. And my big joke has always been, because Bob Mackie started doing clothes with me way back, and I said, well, Bob Mackie designed a dress for me, and then the leftover scraps he put on Cher. And so so I love to do the whole, you've seen the show. I mean, I glitter. People love my shoes. I enjoy that part of show business. So do you have to bring it? Yes, you do.
Right.
You have to bring it.
And we're buying that escapism too, especially with a show like yours. The best bit of advice I ever was given, nobody ever remembers what you say but how you make them feel. And I think when you walk into your showroom in your show, we immediately feel great because it takes us back to a better time. And part of that is the glamour of it, and a glamour of show business which has been lost.
Well, it's a really interesting showroom. I mean, Donnie and I could be in a stadium and we could really put on the dazzle and the pizzazz and the production. We know how to do that. What a lot of people don't know how to do is to put on that similar kind of pizzazz in a small room. That's harder.
Right.
It's harder. But to me, it's really fun. And Donnie's very good at it. And the other day, it was so funny. So we have to end at a certain time. We just want to make sure we start on time and we end on time, because people's lives are important. Right. And we might go 1 to 2 minutes over maybe, but not much more than that.
You should write a book on how people should behave in Las Vegas, because not every headliner has your same philosophy.
Well, they don't, but I think that's hard, especially if people have to have a shuttle home, or they have something at dinner they're going to after, or whatever. They have to be up early in the morning, whatever it is. So they plan their schedule. Anyway, we have to end at a certain time. And so something happened, and I can't remember, but anyway, we were 9 minutes over. It was before the show, but we knew at this certain part that we were 9 minutes over, and we only had so much time. And we looked at each other. We didn't say a word to each other. And I don't know if it's genetics or we just know each other or whatever. But we looked at each other and we just started editing. And we just looked at each other and knew what the other person was going to edit. And then they edited, and then, and this and that. And we came in at, I think it was something like 4 seconds under. Wow. And the curtain went down. And we came up from the bow, and Donnie looked at me and started laughing. He goes, man, we're good. And that's like, the years of practice for a sports person to throw a ball. And so it just, or basketball, my husband plays basketball, you just work and work and work and work so that you don't even think about blocking. It's just natural or whatever it is. Right. That's how it is on stage. And that's called years and years of work. Did you like the new opening?
I loved it.
Isn't it fun where we're doing the same choreography when we were 14 and 16? And
it's before we go, because I know you've got a show to do in a minute. I don't want to keep you waiting, because you'll have to cut from the show if we go up late.
I love talking to you. Honestly, I don't normally do this before the show, but you are so kind. But yet I know you're tough, and I know that you are honest. But that's another thing you can't be afraid of in this business is critique, because that's what keeps you good.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're good, you've got nothing to fear. That's my point.
Yeah, or if you're afraid of being critiqued, then that's not good either.
And also, don't cheat. Tickets are expensive, and you sell a ticket, you should put on a show.
Amen. On meet and greets, I'm always the last one out of there. And these poor people at the end of the line, and I get there, I'm so sorry. And, Donnie's left way before, and I'm still there, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I enjoy talking. You paid money. I want to give you an experience.
He's already landed in New York, and you're still going. Musicals. Are we ever going to see you? There's that beautiful section in the show where you prove your brilliance in these musicals, and we loved you on Broadway. I mean, could we ever see you in the West End or back in New York?
Do you know, I love Broadway. I mean, I love it. Are you kidding? I was asked to do The King and I on West End, and my ex-husband, it didn't work out because of what was going on, but for Rodgers and Hammerstein, they said that my British accent was lovely, and I was going to be an American being a Brit, and it was so cool. And so, but I would love to do that. And then my children all got into high school, and so the only reason I have never been to England, the only reason is because I cannot leave I'm the mother. My brothers aren't mothers. Right. Women know what I'm talking about. And my daughter, my youngest, is now 15, and she's like, Mom, go. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is when you need me the most. Don't even go there, child. And so, but you know, I'm English. That's my heritage. And I would love to go over there and it's, you know, I'd even love to do some shows with my brother Merrill and Jay, because I love all my brothers. They're all so
I just did their ball last, I hosted the ball for them in Leeds last August, and they're doing it again this year. Again, that would be a great opportunity just to see you, because the fondness for the Osmonds, it never gets old.
Oh, we love it. I have so many amazing memories over there because, and I told you this last time, you know, I did the fan club and all that stuff, but I remember when we were at Heathrow and that those balconies collapsed. I'm the first one that saw it. Wow. You know, and I was always the one looking out for the underdogs that were wanting to meet my brothers, but were in the back too shy, and I would always pull them up and let them say hi, and there's a great fondness for the people there. My executive assistant is British. She runs everything for me from England and comes back and forth and back and forth. So Lorraine is I call her all the time, and she goes, "Oh, do behave." So, but I love it there, and you know, I feel like all my family has had a chance to shine, but you've missed out on me because I'm really the fun one. So no, I'm teasing.
It's a blessing, but also a curse. They were able to go, and you had to stay.
Do you know the only thing that's a curse is if you think it is. I mean, I've done some wonderful things here. I don't live in.
You're not a loser. You didn't lose out, really.
I'm not that. Oh, I need to do that. You know, I feel like I blessed a lot of. We help 11 million children every single year with our charity, with John Schneider and myself, and what we created, and because John and I had worked together, and then we formed this, and just, oh my gosh, it's so fun to see what's being done. So many amazing stories. Crazy awesome stuff.
Beautiful that you did that. Let's let you go. Finally, family good, husband good, everything good? Everything
is good. Even when it's not, it's good.
Right.
It really is. It's just, when you go to fight, I heard something the other day. This couple, they came in, and you could tell they were struggling in their relationship, and they were like, "Oh, we're so happy you got back with your husband." And I told them, I said, years ago on Johnny Carson, we did the show. Do you know Johnny Carson? Cool. Okay. And he had this couple on. They were, I can't remember how many years. It was ridiculous how many years they'd been married, but they were like 100 years old.
Right.
Both of them. And he asked them, how did you make it work back then? And they said, we just didn't expect so much. And I really believe that. I think when you find somebody who wants to go through this existence with you, you let the small stuff go and quit being selfish. Value-wise, you want to be on the same playing table. But as far as pick up your towel, don't wear that dress. Oh, comb your hair better. Why aren't you shaving? Right. Let it go. It doesn't matter.
It's great advice. I should tell people that. Set your standards low and expectations low with me, and I will look fabulous.
No.
This is what you meant.
Expectations high. Go in wide open and then close your eyes.
Hope for nothing and I won't let you down. No. This is what you're saying. Marie Osmond.
Just be happy. Be happy.
Marie, it's always nice to see you. You're a legend and a star, and the show has never looked better. You've never been entertaining more people more brilliantly. It is a 5-star production, and the chemistry that you and Donnie have, well, it's a lifetime on stage
Got
together.
Bonnie Story here for choreography, and I just think she's phenomenal. I think the choreography is just, we just got best choreographed. So it's just up the ante. Now the stage is painted and I'm much happier. So, always those little tweaks.
Yeah, little tweaks, and that's why it's perfect. Marie, thank you for your time.
You're so sweet.